So the numbers for CNN and Don Lemon have been going downhill extremely fast recently. CNN is like almost bankrupt at this point. They have to be, because their viewership has been god awful. I think they've been getting beat out by like some absolutely no name shows that I've never even heard of before in terms of viewership. And they're definitely getting beat out by, certain YouTubers and things like that, because nobody's watching that stuff anymore, dude. Nobody cares about these news stations that have a clear bias, that refuse to report the real news. They refuse to report anything unbiased. They just report BS, clickbait stuff. And now Don Lemon is out. Don Lemon is on his way out of CNN, which is crazy to me, because whenever I think of CNN, I pretty much think of Don Lemon. But as you can see from this article from Outkick right here, CNN benches Don Lemon for Monday as network realizes he's unemployable. Don Lemon will not appear Monday morning on CNN, Fox News Digital reports. CNN has benched the host as it mulls his future at the network. Last week, Lemon mansplained. This article from Outkick, by the way, is hilarious. Last week, Lemon mansplained to his female co-host that women over age 50 are no longer in prime condition while discussing Nikki Haley running for president as a 51-year-old woman. This is one of those things that I think people find really refreshing, that I can say on my channel, that other people say on their channels on YouTube, but you are not allowed to say this stuff on TV, even though it's an obvious truth. Lemon mansplained to his co-host that women over 50 are no longer in prime condition. That's just an obvious truth of the world, man. And that's something that, like I said, I think people find refreshing, that I'm totally willing to say, understanding that I'm going to get a bunch of backlash. I'm going to get a bunch of women who are over 50 in my comment section saying, no, that's not true. You're just misogynistic. But, I'll say that for the rest of the time because YouTube doesn't like that word. But I already know that a bunch of women who are past the wall are going to come in my comments saying that it's not true and that I just hate women. When really, it's just a very simple truth of the world that everyone knows, deep down, even you, the one who's over 50, who's about to comment right now, deep down that that's a true statement. But you can't say truths like that. See, the problem is, a lot of people in the world would rather be told comforting lies than told uncomfortable truths. So they would rather just not accept the fact that women over 50 are no longer in prime condition, even though they know it's true deep down. They would rather just not hear that because they would rather be told comforting lies. And whenever you say something like that on TV, you can't say uncomfortable truths on TV. You have to just continue with the comforting lies. You can't start telling uncomfortable truths on TV, especially on CNN. No chance. You got to stick with the narrative, man. You got to stick with the SJW, the leftist agenda. So that definitely goes against the leftist agenda. But like I said, that's why channels like mine, and like I said, channels like mine, not mine in particular, but channels similar to mine are past CNN in viewership because they're not allowed to say stuff like that. They're not allowed to acknowledge the truths of the world. But anyway, while discussing Nikki Haley running for president as a 51-year-old woman, the commentary supposedly offended female staffers as well as his boss. CEO Chris Licht, I don't know how to say his last name, opened his daily 9 a.m. editorial call Friday by rebuking Lemon's segment. Lemon remarks were upsetting, unacceptable, and unfair to his co-host, and ultimately a huge distraction to the great work of this organization. Yeah, they do such great work. Licht told the staff, according to a recording of the call which the New York Times obtained. Thereby, the network decided over the weekend to bench Lemon amid the backlash to his comments. Sunday afternoon, CNN sent staffers an updated schedule for Monday. The change noted that Sarah Sidner would also take Lemon's place alongside Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins on CNN this morning. In short, CNN will put an improved morning program Monday, and Sidner isn't a skilled broadcaster. So I think I've also seen Don Lemon make a lot of comments like that in the past from like 5-6 years ago. But, as time goes on, we're able to acknowledge less truths of the world. And we just have to tell those comforting lies, like I said, especially on TV. So I know that Don Lemon has always thought those things in the past. Don Lemon has actually been kind of based in the past. He's kind of said some very uncomfortable truths. But as time goes on, you're able to say less and less of those things, and you have to acquiesce. You have to, just go along with whatever the mob says, with whatever the mob tells you to do, whatever narrative they want you to spew. That's just what you have to go along with. And it seems like the Overton window has shifted a lot in the last few years, and Don Lemon is feeling the effects of that. I think he had a mask off moment on accident, where he accidentally said something that he really thought instead of just spewing the narrative that he's supposed to spew when he's on CNN. He accidentally said the truth. And it cost him. I think it's going to cost him his job at CNN. Who knows? I think his numbers were really bad anyway. So CNN might have been looking for a reason to get rid of him. And maybe this was just their reason. Kind of similar to like the Gina Carano situation where, You know, Disney was just looking forever for a way to get rid of her. And then once she said something on social media that a lot of people took out of context, trying to get clips or trying to get clicks. So they wrote a bunch of articles that were totally just clickbait articles out of context. And they took that opportunity to fire her. I think CNN might be doing the same thing with Don Lemon here, because his numbers are really bad. And, you know, this isn't anything that controversial. This is a true statement. Everyone knows to be true, but you're not allowed to say it. And I think they're going to turn it into this big thing where they're like, yeah, you know, we're too virtuous to have Don Lemon around who's saying that women past 50 are past their prime. We're too virtuous to have people like that around, those bigots. So we have to fire Don Lemon. It has nothing to do with his numbers going completely downhill. You know, it has nothing to do with his numbers getting surpassed by small YouTubers and TV shows that no one has ever heard of before. Nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that he thinks women past 50 are past their prime. Perhaps he plans to use Lemon's remarks about women as a means to fire him. Wow, that's I swear to you, I did not read to this point in the article. I just read the first part and I thought it was a funny article, so I wanted to use this one. But I swear I didn't read that before, dude. Firing a gay black man is no simple task, but dismissing him in the name of fighting sexism would ease some of the inevitable racial backlash. That's crazy. That's literally what I just said. Lemon gave Litched an out by offending feminists. Lemon's comments were lazy. He cited Google as his source. The segment oozed hypocrisy. The dud would be at the forefront of calling for a conservatives host ousting had they referred to women over 50 as used goods. Still, CNN pays Lemon for his opinions, as cringe and uninformed as they often are. So CNN should not fire him for his opinion on when women are in their prime. That should not be the focus. Instead, CNN should fire him for his contributions to the rest of the dilemmas at the network. Hosts should not be able to scold colleagues and belittle them in front of staffers. In December, Lemon berated Caitlin Collins for talking more than he liked during a segment they shared. Like I said, man, Don Lemon has those certain moments where he lets the true Don Lemon out. And he's kind of based. You know, he says some things that aren't completely that of a lunatic sometimes. Sometimes he's actually entertaining. I don't know if he does it on purpose. And I don't know if it's necessarily the type of entertaining that he wants to be or that CNN wants him to be. But sometimes, dude, he lets it out. And it's entertaining to watch, dude. But whenever he's being serious and professional and doing what CNN wants him to do, it's unbearably bad, man. And that's why his numbers are in the drain. It was not Lemon's job to scold Collins or his role to decide how often she can speak on a show she co-hosts. But more fireable than ever, Lemon's diva tendencies is his lack of success, that is. Only viewers despise Lemon to the degree his colleagues do. Only Lemon's pal Bomani Jones is draining raters harder than he. Yeah, Bomani Jones is like, yeah, I think he hasn't been on the charts for, I don't know. He might have never been on the charts. I know that recently it's been like 3 times in a row he completely failed to chart. All of the woke weirdos are just totally failing. And like I said, man, I love to see it. I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for the failures of these people who have been spewing this nonsense for the last, I don't know, 5-10 years. It's time, man. It's time for this to happen. It's time for them to fail to chart. It's time for them to get fired. It's time for them to have mask off moments. And like I said, it's time for the chaos, dude. I want to see the chaos. Don Lemon hosted the lowest rated cable news show in prime time before his demotion last fall. Post-demotion, he derailed CNN's morning show to lows not seen in a decade. His struggles in the morning have rippled up the entire lineup. He tanks the channel so low during the morning hours that subsequent CNN hosts are unable to dig the network out of the hole. So like I said, dude, this is definitely just an excuse to fire Don Lemon because he needs to be fired at this point. It's time. It's time for him to leave. He's tanking the network. The network's kind of tanking themselves, but he's tanking them at a rate that even they're not doing to themselves, man. He's just an absolute idiot. And he deserves it, man. It's time for him to go. Let me know in the comments, do you think that Don Lemon will be completely fired, or do you think it's just a short little hiatus? Let me know what you think about the entire situation. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you in the next one.